Yeah, my DoorDash people, good morning. So, another DoorDash driver actually brought up a great question to me in regards to why I haven't done a video. So it just went on ahead and gave me the reason to actually do one, and I did notice that I don't do videos in regards to this subject, as you see by the thumbnail. Uh, when it comes to promos, it's really tough to speak on because the markets are so different. And overall, when it comes to door dashing, it's really hard to speak on something because where, per se, promos for me don't mean anything. Not to say they don't have meaning, but there's a trade-off for it when it comes to these promos. Where it doesn't mean anything to me, it can mean something to somebody else. So it's hard to really speak on to say like, hey, don't focus on promos, or hey, focus on promos. It's really hard because of the results that you get from these promotions that they throw out there. I have slightly spoke on the way that I drive when it comes to where I sit, stuff like that, and this kind of has something to do with it, but just kind of look at it from this standpoint. And for those that make a lot of money during these promos, it's great. A couple of reasons why these promos may go out to you. $3 an extra order for 2 or 3 hours. Or they're just really busy and they're adding an extra $2 or $3 because they don't have enough drivers. There's other times where these promos come out, and these are the times that I don't really care for, and it's the only time that I really see promos, unless it's super busy. And when I say that, it's because it's a holiday, and more than likely they just don't have enough dashers out on the road. But those additions of $2 and $3 are not promotions in the sense. They're just adding $2 or $3 just because it's so busy. So it's not an actual promo that you can click up top and see and schedule during those hours type thing. So normally we just get an extra money added here in Cali, at least, when it's just really busy. So just on the map it'll say plus $3, and it doesn't have any kind of time. It's just, this is what they're paying until otherwise. So when it comes to promos, the only time that I see promos is like weird hours. And they're hours that I really don't drive because a couple reasons. The first being the hours that I don't drive is because it's always something silly like 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 in the morning. And not so much during the week. Not so much during the week because it's just not busy like that. But more on the weekends. So I have a day job that's Monday through Friday, and I work from 6 to 2:30. So normally I'll get out and I'll dash. I'll normally get out and dash for maybe 3 to 5 hours after work. And from there, I'm done about 8, no later than 9 o'clock. And I'll probably make like $100, $125, $150 if I'm like lucky, like during the earlier part of the week. When you get to Friday, it's a whole different ballgame. But normally I see those promotions for the late nights like that, and they normally just throw those out because the average dasher is like, okay, it's getting slower, more restaurants are starting to close, there's not any other orders, and that's just it. So people tend to want to sign off. People tend to want to sign off and be done because they don't want to just wait around for an order just to get $3 on it. And yeah, they'll get a couple of orders, but is it worth taking your sleep time away that you probably would normally be sleeping? Now on the weekends, I mean, whatever. There are some late night orders, but like I said, as the night approaches, places start closing more and more and more. So now there's not as many places to get orders from. So there's a trade-off when it comes to that. Yeah, I may make $3 an extra order, but how long did I have to wait for that order? To me, it has to make sense the time that I'm going to be out there, and I'm not one to sit out and just wait for orders to come about. We're so busy here in that sense, especially during the hours that I drive, just real more popular hours. There's really no waiting. As soon as I drop off an order, the next one's popping up. And being that the offers are so good, at least for me, due to my ratings and being in the platinum status and being able to dash now, I'm just accepting because the miles with the pay, it just matches. It just goes well between $3 and $7. And I know it's really hard to believe. And I'm just gonna have to do more screenshots. I'm gonna have to get back to the point to where if I'm gonna be showing what I'm making, because a lot of people don't believe it because the markets that they live in, they don't get paid well. So then when I say that I'm making, call it $45, $50 in an hour, somebody's thinking that I'm driving 100 miles or some crazy crap. Like it's silly that somebody don't make what I make. So then they just automatically assume that I'm driving all these miles because of the amount that I'm making. And it's like, how could I drive so many miles like that? If I'm doing 3, 4, 5 orders in an hour, how is it possible for me to have orders with so many miles? I wouldn't be able to do. It's self-explanatory. I wouldn't be able to do 3 to 5 orders in an hour if I was dashing and getting offers, although the pay, but with so many miles, it wouldn't be possible. So the question's already answered, or the assumption is already answered because of that. But I like showing the screenshot of the orders, and additionally, I like to show the screenshot of the GPS from the time that I pick up the order to start delivery. That way you know. And I normally don't have to drive far because where I live, it's a flooded market of restaurants, so it's not like I gotta drive 10, 15 miles to a restaurant. It's way too many dashers out here for that. But it looks like if I am gonna provide screenshots of my pay in regards to orders, that I'm gonna also take a screenshot of the GPS, the Google GPS from that starting point to deliver to the home. So then people can see. I hate that I have to do that, but it's a way for me to get rid of these few haters here and there, which I don't really worry about, but every now and then one kind of gets to me, and then I kind of got to come and bring some receipts to them. But to get back to, and sorry that I kind of veered off, but to get back to the whole promo thing, additionally to that, I don't really speak so much about hot zones. Like, it's cool to have a busy area, and most people are going to go to that busy area, but me, I'm one to always go against the grain when it comes to that, or comes to dashing, period. And I think that's why I do so well, because I don't think like most dashers, like the average dasher, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not speaking bad. I just figured things out over the last 7 years to know what works for me. So when it comes to hot zones, I don't run to hot zones. When there's a hot zone that pops up and it's pink, red, call it what you want, I don't run to it. Because you just have to think, if there aren't any drivers that are signed in and they need drivers, now you got 1 million drivers signing in to go to that hot zone, especially if they're offering some extra money. That's when it's really bad. But let's just say, for instance, they don't offer extra money, extra $2 or $3 for how much ever time. Whether it's a promo or they're just busy. Like I said, you got 1 million dashers signing in because, oh man, it's an extra $3. So that's the trade-off. Now you got a flooded market out there. Now everybody is headed to that hot zone. Where, guess where I'm at? I'm on the outskirts of those hot zones, because everybody's right there in that little market area waiting on orders, and it's too many people. It's not enough orders that are pushing out to deal with that many people like that. DoorDash doesn't care. All they know is they got you to sign in and go sit somewhere and be available for orders in the case that it ever gets that busy. And the key word is ever gets that busy, which it never does. So that's why you end up signing up for a promotion. Especially when you sign up for a promotion, you go sit somewhere and you don't get no orders. And that can be up to the platinum. That can be all the way up into the platinum. And it's just because it's way too many drivers, and it could be a whole lot of platinum drivers. So it's like, okay, who has priority now out of all these platinum drivers? while Corey is outside the market just scooping up orders left and right, because now people are too far to get the orders for those restaurants outside that hot zone, because Corey is right there in the vicinity. So I'm just order after order after order after order, and I'm really moving because I know all these people are over here in the hot zone area just waiting for orders, where you got all these other restaurants. And granted, this is a market that I'm talking about that has restaurants and merchants outside of hot zone areas. I get it. There are some places in the country where in your city, there just may be one only marketplace where there's food at. Outside of that, there is nothing. So I totally understand that, and it sucks because it's just what it is, and it's unfortunate because you don't have any other options. But again, being in Southern California, we're a melting pot of merchants and restaurants, and we don't generally have to go far to pick up, and because it's a lot of us, we don't generally get long mile drives at that point. So you have to understand that. That's why, at least for me, I can only speak for me in my account, why my orders are normally 1/4 of a mile to maybe 5 miles max. And at a 5 mile point, I'm for sure banking $15 to $20. So imagine something to the closer of a 10 mile rate, 10 mile delivery. That's when it's becoming the $20 to $40. So that's how I'm able to accept, because the money and mile, the money and the mile ratios are just, it's great for me to be able to do that. And I know I'm not the only person out here to do it. I'm just a content creator that can report it, but I know there's other dashers out here that are in the same position I am. I only got 7,000 so deliveries, and then like maybe 1,500, almost 2,000 shopping delivers. There's drivers out there with 30,000 deliveries or whatnot. I mean, I don't know their rating status at the end of the day, and I don't think your delivery counts, your delivery amounts matter or anything like that. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of drivers out here that dash a lot more than me. But because I have a day job that takes care of my life, DoorDash is not. I don't depend on DoorDash in that sense. I make a lot of money with DoorDash, but it's not like I'm doing this full time. So I just more do it on the daily to cover gas to and from for to and from work, lunch if I want to buy lunch. I don't feel it so much in my pocket coming out from my paycheck from my day job. I let DoorDash money take care of that. I let DoorDash money take care of my car payments, which I'll get a car paid off in half the time of the contract. I let DoorDash pay for the maintenance on the vehicle. I make enough to buy a new car every year with DoorDash. So when it comes to the miles part and driving, I don't really care. And I'm not saying that like I drive a lot of miles and I don't care, because I don't drive a lot of miles, but miles are not something that I worry about, because how much money that I make, and I can just buy another car, come down to it. The reality of me having to go buy a new car every year is just silly. But because I'm saying I make that amount, I make anywhere between $20,000 and $40,000 extra a year on top of my salary, my salary at work, which is about $85,000 or whatever it is, $90,000 depending on overtime throughout the year. So this is all truly extra money for me. So on top of being able to accept it all, it just makes it very easy for me. But that kind of explains the promo side of things. And like I said, there's some areas where people live off promos and they make money. So it's just going to be different from region to region, market to market, state to state or city. So it's really hard to narrow that down and speak on it in terms of what a person should do, what they shouldn't do, because I don't know everybody's markets. I only know mine. And I have a few markets in some spread out areas, and I generally make the same. And that's where I say that I know it's based on the ratings and maybe the tier system. But even on the tier system side, I'm just concerned about dashing now. That's really it. With that said, that's about it when it comes to that. If you guys have any questions or concerns about promos, or maybe it works out for you or something like that, just type down below and let me know how it goes for you. And maybe you live off the promos because maybe there's no drivers in your area or not a lot of dashers. Who knows? like I said, I can only speak about what happens here, and even then I can only speak about what it is that I do. But I try to think outside the box when it comes to dashing. I go against the grain a lot, so then it doesn't make sense to a lot of people. So that's where I'll get a good amount of hate because people don't understand it. And like I said, at the end of the day, we all do some things that are similar. So it's not to say that you're necessarily following somebody's doings. We just all just have general things that's going to happen that are all going to be the same because it's part of the job. But with me, I try to figure out what I can do to make extra money or get myself out of this slump of not making the most that I can. So that's why I be finding extra things, the customer service, the text messages, stuff like that to do to try to help me better myself in terms of money that I will get paid out, whether it's from DoorDash or from customers. And it works out for me. And just a lot of people don't like it or they don't believe it. And it's not a worry or a concern to me. You not liking what I do or not believing what it is I'm saying doesn't change the amount of money that I make or bring home or cash out nightly. So I just want to make that extremely clear, just for those that have an interest in me that hate on me in the sense. Doesn't make sense. I don't follow people that I dislike. And I don't really dislike people like that. Do we have an opinion? Yeah, I can have an opinion about somebody, but there are like true like haters out there. They follow you. And it's just weird. It's really weird to me that somebody would follow somebody that they hate. And I guess maybe they just try to stir the pot, or because they're sitting behind a keyboard or a monitor and they're not right in front of you. But a lot of the stuff that gets said wouldn't necessarily get said in front of that person. So that's what's weird to me, is you just got a bunch of internet thugs per se that like to do a bunch of this. And in person, it would be a different story, because at the end of the day, what are you sitting there hating on? Because I ain't making money. That's just the silliest thing that I could think about, and it's just crazy and funny at the same time. But I'll leave it at that. Like I said, any questions, comments, concerns, type down below, good or bad. If the promos are working for you, let me know what type of promos you get and what type of hours it is that you guys get these promos, because we don't get them too often here, at least in Southern Cali are the markets that I dash in. So with that said, your boy C-Moto, you know what it is. I will leave you guys at that. I hope you guys have a great, awesome weekend, and I'll holler at you next time. Peace out.